Welcome to Bonesaw Poker. I'm Brad, and in this video we're going to go through my goals for 2025 in poker, and we're going to talk about in the long run. Let's get into it. Happy New Year, everyone. As you can see from the title, it's going to be the 2025 poker goals and in the long run. So let's get into it. So poker goal for this year is I want to play every week at least one day. I want to average at least 6 hours. I've had some that were shorter, had some that were longer. I'm going to try to get some longer sessions in, but you get at least a 6 hour average. That would be, get at least 50, 55 trips in this year. Hopefully more, hopefully 60 to 70 actually. So we'll see what happens. So that's the goal at this point in time, and which brings me to my other point. And that goal is that playing live 1-2 cash and going to probably a lot of it's going to be at the Hard Rock since it's close. But I still plan on doing my poker tour, doing each weekend, do another room down here in the Tampa area, Sarasota, Ocala, and so we'll see what we can get done there. So it brings me to the next point, and that is in the long run. So if you ever watch Solve for Wise Only Friends podcast, that's Berkey and the gang, and they talk a lot about how much hours a person can get in live, variance, that online a person can get in 500,000 to 1 million hands per year. On live you can't. And so I was kind of doing some rough math that if I got down to the card room 50 times and average of 6 hours per, that would be 300 hours. So, and if I can get 30 hands in per hour, and you can put in the comments whether you think that's a realistic number or not. Seems like it kind of is. Some nights, if there's a lot of drinking that going on, the game gets kind of slow. People got to talk really long about the hand they're about to fold, and then showdowns take forever, and because people have to give speeches, and we have to have hand funerals. But then, when it's not like that, the game can go pretty quick sometimes. So I'm saying 30 an hour is probably about right. So I'm saying that is 9,000 hands per year. And if I can play some more, maybe we can get it up to 10,000. Now, since online, you can multi-table, and there's players that put in 500,000 to 1 million hands per year. So in comparison, live is a drop in the bucket. And so on the Only Friends podcast, one thing they talk about is that since playing live, you can't get enough volume in, that a lot of it is you're just up to card distribution and variance. And that you'll never realize what your true win rate is because you can't play enough live to find out what your true win rate is, even if you have a true win rate. And they're implying that you could go years and win and not be a winning player because the numbers are so small, and people don't understand how much variance impacts. You can agree with that, disagree with that. I definitely got some disagreements with it, but so when you're taking poker courses like Red Chip, pokercoaching.com, Solve for Why, whatever, reading poker books, like on Monday I finished up the Poker Math audiobook, and they keep referring to, well, if you do this is how it pans out in the long run. So if you overpay for draws, that you're going to lose money in the long run. If you fold too much pre, that you're leaving too much EV on the table, and that will hurt you in the long run. You can't leave that kind of EV on the table, or equity, however, whichever way you want to look at it. I know they're different. And so my question is, if I can never reach the long run, why does some of that matter? Why is the poker math so important? Is it so important then? Or is everything really just a one-off? Is every trip a one-off? Is every hand a one-off? If it can only get 9,000 hands in per year, and that's a drop in the bucket, and I'm just up to variance and card distribution, what does it matter if I don't play perfect pre-flop strategies? What if I overcall in a few spots, or spend too much to call? And what if I overfold in some spots? Because all these coaches, what they argue is, well, if you're overfolding in the spot, you're losing EV, and in the long run, it's going to cost you money. Well, if there is no long run, what difference does it make? So that's kind of my question. And again, put in the comments what you think about what I'm saying. Am I onto something here? Am I, way off? So what got me thinking about this is and I have a video out about pocket pairs, and in that I talk about the baby pairs, 6s through 2s, that I just set mine with them. I don't put a lot in live cash. I don't put a lot of stock in them, and I play them aggressively in tournaments, especially when the blinds are down. But that in live cash, I keep getting set over set with them and losing stacks. So what if I did an experiment where I said, for that trip I take tomorrow, that I don't play the baby pairs. I just fold my baby pairs, because the poker coaches say, oh, you can't do that. You can't leave all that EV. It's going to hurt you in the long run. Well, it's hurting me in the short run. It's clobbering me in the short run. So, and some people say, well, you can't do that. That's not how it works. Well, which way does it work then? Or is there a long run, or isn't there? What is variance? And if I'm up to variance, if I play so few hands that it's just card distribution and variance, that hardly any poker skill fits in there, then what difference does it make if I make negative EV plays, because there is no long run for them to come to fruition? And on one of the broadcasts, they were talking to Landon Tice, who, I don't know if you don't know who he is, he's like 25-year-old pro from Florida, that he's got 1 million in Hendon Mob, and worked his way up and studies a lot, child of the sim, very, very serious student of the game, and plays well. And somebody down there was saying as well, your live play, we don't even know if you're a winning player. It could just be, variance at this point. And it's like, are you kidding me? So you're a winning poker player, but, if you're just been on a sun run for 5 years, and all this studying and all this other stuff didn't matter. So, which that right there kind of contradicts my point, I guess. But let me know what you think on this subject, because I'm going to do some experimenting at the card room each week. I'm going to try something different. Now, I might say what it is, might not, it might be a little embarrassing, especially, I'll tell you the results of each session. But tomorrow, I'm going to throw out the baby pairs. I'm not going to play them. Unless I'm on the button, or excuse me, in the big blind, and I'm just checking my blind. And we'll see how it goes, and see if I'm leaving EV on the table, and if that even matters. Now I'm getting a little redundant. So that's my hot take on that, and my poker goals for 2025, and we'll see what shakes. And that's kind of be the theme going forward for a little while. Now, if after 4 or 5 trips that I think that this was a huge mistake, I'll discuss that too. But it's not like I need this money to live on. And it's not like if I go down there and lose money or win money that it, we're not talking life-changing money one way or the other. So I'm going to experiment with it. I'm going to try some different things, and we'll see what shakes. So remember to like and subscribe, and we got dogs. And remember that everything you want is on the other side of fear.